Hi everyone, today I'm talking about the 5 stocks that I have bought this week. I bought these stocks on Monday, so I'm going to go through the 5 stocks I bought, and I'll also be talking about what I'm planning to do going ahead with my stock market portfolio while we're still in this kind of CV correction territory in the stock market. Now, as always guys, if you give the video a like, that would be absolutely amazing. It helps the channel and the video out with the amount of views and the amount of growth I get from the video, so that would be absolutely awesome. And I have put the ticker symbols down here, so if you are good with your stock market ticker symbols, you'll probably be able to pick up which 5 stocks it is, but I will go through each stock and just give a kind of like a 1 minute, 2 minute talk about why I got into that stock. But I have done quite a few detailed videos on all of these companies that I did buy. So the first one is Altria stock, which I got in at $40.62, and the reason why I got into this, I'll be honest, is the dividend. I have kind of like bought a few more dividend stocks this year, and Ultra is one of them. Well, actually, it was kind of like last year where I started the trend off of getting into a few dividend stocks, and I've really noticed the difference in my like brokerage account from like the amount of cash that's coming in now because of the dividends. So I kind of want to carry on increasing it and having a few dividend stocks in there. Now, obviously, the dividend is the whole reason why I got in. You know, you're talking nearly a 8-9% dividend yield, which is absolutely fantastic because when we look at the S&P, like the average return of the S&P 500 is like 8% yearly. So to kind of like get the guaranteed like dividend rate that will match the S&P 500 is quite easy, you know, really easy money really. So that's absolutely fantastic. And also I believe that the stock is at a cheap price. I think anything below 45 is a great opportunity to get into Altria stock. But the company itself, I think, is undervalued. Like, it used to be over an $80 stock at one time, not too long ago. And the company itself, I believe there's a lot of upside in here. I believe the stock has the potential to have a 50% upside in that stock price with the amount of EPS growth and the stability in the company and the dividend and the potential for it to carry on up in that dividend going forward. Obviously, when you look at the balance sheet, it's not a healthy balance sheet, but the reason why is Altria don't like to keep a lot of cash on the balance sheet. They like to pay it out in dividends, so that's why always it's going to look a little bit debt heavy and the dividend payout rate quite high, but it manages really well, and I think it's a pretty safe dividend. Obviously, it's had a few problems with Joule over the last course of the year, but overall, I think that will sort itself out because all the problems haven't actually come from Joule. It's come from other companies that have like flavoured vaping that they use. So it's no problem with Joule, and they also have been very diverse in the investments going forward. So like I said, I invested in it solely for the dividend, but overall I think that I'll also get some stock price appreciation with this one as well. Number 2 is Disney, which is a company which I actually weren't planning on picking up, but then it just kind of came to silly prices and I was like, right, Disney is so undervalued right now, and I had to go buy it, and I bought in at 118.58, and there was the combination of the coronavirus, there was a combination of the Disneyland China had got shut down, and also we had the CEO of Disney stepping down from his role, and I think that kind of got whole overblown really because the CEO is an internal promotion, so everything's going to kind of stay the same, and sure, long term Disney, you know, will struggle a little bit with the Disneyland closure. Maybe if it gets to Paris, does Disneyland Paris close? Sure, it's going to, you know, hurt it a little bit in the short term, but long term, it's a fantastic company with some fantastic brands. We are at pre-Disney Plus numbers as well. So when I think about great addition of Disney Plus and how much that will pay off for Disney going forward, to be back at them prices, I'm thinking that we're at prices where people didn't really know that Disney Plus was coming is kind of like stupid to that whole Disney Plus has kind of got factored out just because of the closure and the CV outbreak. And like I say, over the course, when I look at a year of Disney, sure, it's going to be maybe a rough year, but when I look at Disney with Disney Plus and how much that's going to grow over the next 2 to 5 years, absolutely fantastic, as well with the brands and the TV shows and movies it'll be able to bring out going forward. And Disney from these sort of prices is ridiculously low, and also collecting that dividend that will carry on growing. I see probably this stock being $200 in a 2 to 5 year ratio, especially when this Disney Plus kicks off. So I weren't planning on getting on Disney, but when it's at these prices, it was a nice, easy pickup for me. And like I say, if it even goes even lower than this, I'll definitely carry on adding a few more shares. Number 3 is Pinterest, which is a stock that I've covered a lot on the channel, so I won't spend too long on. But because it's back down at prices that are kind of earnings numbers where the stock shot up absolutely huge, and now it's back down there and it's just kind of like discounted all them sort of earnings. It kind of threw me out a little bit because I was like, I didn't really expect it to be at these prices, and when it's at $19, it's such an easy pickup for me. And like I say, with Pinterest, I see 2 years time, I see 100% upside in this company, and that's solely why I got into it. Amazing company, 30 plus revenue, profit this year, EPS growing absolutely huge, no debt on the balance sheet. It's got a game plan on how it's going to carry on improving its EPS and revenue, with how it's going to grow its ad per revenue per user for the international side of it. And like I say, I also think it's a potential buyout for a company as well that wants to get into that social media industry as well. 3rd largest platform now in the US. Fantastic. So Pinterest was a company that even though I have a decent position size, at these sort of prices, I just see easy money in it. Like I say, 100% upside. So that's why I got into Pinterest. Number 4 is Microsoft, which I bought in at 165 and 23. I didn't buy too heavy. The whole reason why I got into this company is because it's already my largest position in the stock market. I think it's a fantastic company, and there's not really that many opportunities to get into Microsoft. So now that it's kind of down, something like $40 from its highs, I thought it's a good discount opportunity. I would like it to go a little bit cheaper. If it could go below the 150, I'd love to add in more shares from there. But Microsoft is a fantastic company with such a diverse kind of portfolio of how it manages its income stream. We have the dividend yield with Microsoft, and it's a company that I just see pretty much on average posting something like a 20 to 30% stock price increase going forward. Obviously, you collect the dividend as well, and it is a massive moat on this company. It's a company that is the ideal kind of number 1 position in your stock market portfolio because it's kind of untouchable with what sectors it is in. And when I talk about Microsoft, to be honest with you, it's one of the only like 3 companies in my portfolio that I'm like, I can't see myself ever selling this. The only time I would sell it is if it went up something stupid in like a week or 2 weeks. But like I say, Microsoft is just such an easy hold that's just going to carry on with that, 10% revenue increase every year. Just carry on increasing that stock price, collect that dividend increase, and yeah, it's just a major part of my portfolio. And I normally say I hold stocks for 2 to 5 years. Microsoft at the moment, I just can't see me selling it at all. So I love the company. It's my number 1 position. I don't really have that many chances to add into Microsoft, so I took the opportunity to add into Microsoft. And last stock is CCL, and I made this decision just because I saw the massive decrease, and in fact, after buying this, it's gone down a little bit more. So I thought that I would buy it, and now it's gone down more. There's another opportunity to buy in, but I said I wasn't going to buy CCL because I thought, it is really going to affect it over the course of the year. But in my opinion now, CCL, it's at $32. I think even now, after making this video, it's dropped into the 20s, which is insane. But even at 32, I was like, right, this company is way overvalued. We're talking a P/E ratio of 6. We're talking a dividend yield. I think it's like 6%, 7% dividend yield right now. It's absolutely insane to get that dividend yield. Sure, if it gets really bad, they might cut it, but I don't think they'll cut it just yet. A 6 P/E ratio is just absolutely insane. I mean, this company, obviously you're going to collect a nice little dividend from that stock. As well as that, it's so undervalued. When this blows over, we're talking CCL easily should be a $50 stock. Easy, like that's even at undervalued prices, a $50 stock. And then eventually, I think that CCL should be a $60, $70 dollar stock when it's kind of at its prime again. It's just been hit by a lot of headwinds, and eventually it'll sort it out and it'll come back. And CCL for me is just a pickup right now that's going to give me a nice little dividend. As well as that, when I look 2 to 5 years and look past this little short term with the coronavirus over the next year, how it might affect stocks, 2 to 5 years down the line, CCL for me is going to be going back up to a $60, $70 stock. that means we're going to have about 100% upside in CCL, and in that kind of like 2 years that it'll take to get back to them prices, I'm going to be getting a decent dividend yield as well. So this is easy money, one of the most undervalued stocks in my opinion out there right now, as a few travel stocks are, obviously with the CV, but it's kind of gone to the point where I'm like, okay, now this is a bit too far. So I had to jump in, and now it's gone down even more after buying this. I'm probably looking at maybe next week buying some more shares again in CCL. So overall, those are the 5 stocks I have bought on Monday. I have bought one more stock since then, and I'll make a video about that over the weekend about that company. It was in my free stocks I'm buying. Overall, I've spent about 20% of the cash that I had on my side that I've been building up over the last 3 months. I am planning to buy a few more. Obviously, I still think the stocks are kind of like at fair value. I would like them to drop a little bit more than this, and then I can buy some more stocks at a little bit cheaper valuation. At the moment, next week I might pick up a few more shares, but like I say, I am waiting for a bigger drop. But when I look at the prices of Disney and Carnival right now, they do seem very cheap. So I might be tempted next week to just buy a little bit more of them, but I don't want to go in too much yet. I want to kind of wait, because like I say, I think the coronavirus is going to get a lot worse from here. I think it hasn't peaked yet. I think it is not containable. I think it is going to spread. It is going to get worse, unfortunately, but that should affect companies going forward. It'll affect earnings over probably the next 3 quarters, I would say, and then it probably makes some good opportunities to buy some more stocks there. So I don't want to spend too much cash. Obviously, I am also wanting to get the right price on Tesla again to buy in there. So I kind of want to hold enough cash to buy a decent Tesla position as well. So there is going to be opportunities for me to buy it, and I will probably buy more stocks, but I'm kind of spreading it out just yet. But I am keeping an eye on quite a few companies, and the few companies on this list that I wouldn't mind buying again, especially at the right prices. So guys, I thought I'd update you with the 5 stocks I bought this week. I'll try and make a video on the weekend about the other stock that I bought. I bought that stock on Wednesday, so I'll let you know about that, guys. As always, if you could give the video a like, that'd be absolutely amazing, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you next video.